Hello everyone. Let's take a look at converting angles from radians to degrees. If you remember from before, if you take a number, which is let's say 3, and you divide it by itself, the result will be 1, or negative 50 divided by negative 50. You will still get a positive 1. And multiplying something by a positive 1 would preserve its value. We are going to apply this concept to the measures in degrees and radians and get a value of 1, because if you take pi radians and you divide it by 180 degrees, it's something divided by itself, its value should be 1. Similarly, if you take 180 degrees and you divide it by pi radians, the result is also 1. You're going to take one of these ratios, which is equivalent to 1, and multiply any angle measure in order to convert between degrees and radians. So let's take a look here. We have 7 pi out of 4, and we are told to convert from radian to degree measure. Not every time when you see radian measure, the word radian would appear. In order to convert this, I am going to multiply this fraction by 1, and I construct this 1 out of ratio of degrees to radians. So I have to convert into degrees should go into the numerator. So degrees will be in numerator, and it's 180 degrees, 2 pi radians. Notice that radians is not always written out, but you will always see the degree measure. Pi goes into pi one time. 4 can be divided by 4, and 180 can be divided by 4. So 180 divided by 4 gives us 45 degrees. Pi cancelled out with pi into 1 times 7. 4 and 4 cancelled into 1. So now we have 7 times 45 degrees, which gives us 315 degrees. And that's our answer. Here we have to convert angle from radians to degrees again. And I am going to multiply it by the same fraction. Pretty much whatever you need to cancel out will go into the denominator. So I need to cancel out this pi radians. And whatever you need to convert into goes into numerator. So 180 degrees goes in numerator. We are multiplying a whole number by a fraction, but remember that you can always divide by 1 and still have the same value. So now we have pi divided by pi gives us 1. So we are left with negative 4 times 180 gives us 720 degrees. And this is our answer. Here we have to convert an angle from radians to degrees and round to nearest hundredths. Now do notice we have 5 radians without pi's written out. Our fraction is still the same. We need to convert into degrees, so degrees will go into numerator out of pi radians, and since they wrote out radians, I'm going to write radians in denominator. It's just a unit measure written out, just like inches can be shortened into in, and sometimes you will see those quotations to indicate inches. Anything that lets you know what kind of measure was used on the item. So 5 radians is being multiplied by a fraction, so I'm going to put 1 into denominator just so I remember how to multiply fractions. We multiply numerators together and denominators together, but before I do that, radians cancels out with the radians, and we are left with 5 times 180 degrees divided by 1 times pi, pi in the denominator. 5 times 180 gives us 900 out of pi. In order to get our decimals, this is when you need to take out your scientific calculator and to 900 divided by pi. This gives me 286.4788976, and we are still in degrees. We are told to round off to the nearest hundredths, so this is the place where I need to round this number off to. You look at the number to the right of it. If it's 5 or more, you add 1 to the place you are rounding off to. So we get 286.48 degrees, and this is our answer. That's all.